So there's evidence that Hillary Clinton's campaign may be resorting to the sleaziest political tactic ever. I'm talking about push polling. So if you don't know what push polling is, this is a tactic that's so reprehensible that some states have actually banned it. So what this does is these are pollsters who call up voters and they pose these hypothetical questions to voters. So for example, in 2000, Bush was push polling and he had his people call and asked whether or not voters would be more or less likely to support John McCain if they found out that he fathered an illegitimate black child. I'm not kidding. So what they do is they could just pose this crazy lie and say, would you be more or less likely if I told you that this is the case? Doesn't have to be factual. And the thing about it is it actually works. If you don't remember, George Bush won in 2000 and went on to become the Republican nominee. And we know the aftermath of that. So now I just want to emphasize that this has not been confirmed yet. And even if it is the case that push polling is going on, it may be a fact that Hillary Clinton isn't involved with it. It could be one of her surrogates, a super PAC, or an organization that's unaffiliated with the Clinton campaign has hired an outside firm to do this. It's so difficult. I mean, to prove that someone is push polling, very, very difficult to do. But I want to get to the claims. So there's a blogger named Nolan Dolla who says that he was asked these questions by a pollster. They asked, what if I were to tell you the Washington Post said that Bernie Sanders' campaign and all of his promises would cost voters $20 trillion and would raise everyone's taxes? Would you be more or less likely to vote Sanders? Or has your opinion remained unchanged? See what they're doing there? So now another alleged question. What if I were to tell you that the New York Times expressed serious reservations about Bernie Sanders being able to work with Congress and described him as divisive? Would you be more or less likely to support Bernie Sanders? Another one. How likely are you to caucus for Bernie Sanders if you knew that he blocked gun control legislation 5 times? Again, doesn't have to be truthful. It's just hypothetical. Another one. How likely are you to still caucus for Bernie Sanders if you knew he blocked immigration reform 6 times as a U.S. senator? So again, this doesn't have to be anything of substance. It doesn't have to be even truthful, because it's not saying Bernie Sanders did X. It's saying, what if I told you Bernie Sanders did X? So they're not technically lying, but to a voter who's picking up the phone, they're not going to know the difference. They're not going to think, what, he did this? Wow, this is crazy. It's just, what if I told you? It's really sleazy. It's dirty. Okay, that's basically what it is. Now, there's more evidence from Reddit. A ton of users are purporting that they, too, have been push-pulled from all over the country. So user Summer Camp Counselor states he was push-pulled in Iowa on Clinton's behalf. User Part Tim 3 Homo said he was push-pulled multiple times. I don't know the state, but he makes this claim. User Faithless claims that they were push-pulled in Colorado. NM Seth was push-pulled 4 to 5 times in Iowa, all on behalf of Clinton's. And there are similar reports from the Huffington Post that people were push-pulled in 2008 on behalf of Hillary Clinton. So there's evidence, according to multiple people across the country. We can't confirm this, right? We can't really launch a full-scale investigation. But here's what I would encourage you to do. If you're push-pulled, politely disconnect the call. One, that's the first thing you do. You don't have to be rude to them. Keep in mind that the people who are doing push polls, they're often from outside of the country. So you don't want to be rude to someone who is asking these questions and just doing their job, and they don't even know what the hell is going on in the U.S. So don't be rude. Please don't be rude to them. They're just doing their job. But politely disconnect the call. And then you want to contact the Bernie Sanders campaign. Let them deal with this. So you can email them at bernie@berniesanders.com or info@berniesanders.com. Don't try to take this in your own hands. Don't try to go crazy because it's bad enough that we're painted as conspiratorial. So I just don't want to do anything that's hasty if we don't have facts. There's some evidence, but again, so difficult to prove that someone is resorting to push polling. It's so difficult. You can never really confirm this because it's not done by campaigns. It's done by unaffiliated outside firms. Keep a mindful eye out if you get someone who's calling you a pollster and they're asking you these weird hypothetical questions. You know what to do.
Thanks for watching The Humanist Report. Don't forget to subscribe and check us out at humanistreport.com.